lots of different types of life. Bioproductive means lots of life produced here. So think about this. This is the all-you-can-eat seafood buffet.
A relaxing boat ride, a trip to the beach, hanging out with alligators. On a school day, welcome to Over the Horizon at Cape Romaine Wildlife Refuge in Allendale. This structured field study teaches high school students about careers in local history, culture, and natural resource preservation. They also learn about biological and human diversity.
More and more, there's more public interface with the natural world now than ever. And I think more and more there's a need and a necessity for people that are wanting to share the importance of these intact natural communities.
A group called the South Carolina Diversity Leaders Initiative started this venture with support from Coastal Expeditions and Cape Romaine in 2012. It allows students from Burke and Wando to build relationships in one of the most serene settings on the East Coast.
I was pretty excited to go on it because, I've never actually been out to Bulls Island, so a lot of this is new to me, and it's pretty unique because it's pretty out here.
I think that we sometimes get so caught up in the world that we forget to appreciate what's around us, and so taking a trip out here emphasizes the fact that this is our backyard and we should spend time out here, and the people that we're spending time with, we should appreciate them too.
The day had an awkward but expected start. Teenagers who didn't know each other from different parts of our community with different life experiences gathered at Wando. After some encouragement from their teachers, the getting to know you process began.
We got there, everyone seemed shy, but as we ate breakfast together, they seemed like pretty nice kids, and we just ready to mingle with people. So
this morning, as you saw too, it started out Burke kids were on one side, Wanda was on the other side, and through a little bit of prompting, we sat together and got to know each other.
Following a quick breakfast, the students boarded a bus and departed for Garris Landing. The students interacted with each other a little more and began to see similarities in each other.
I met a girl who's taking the exact same courses as me at another school that's 10 miles down the road, and we don't see that, and sometimes without things like these, we don't recognize that.
During the ferry ride to Bulls Island, Coastal Expeditions' Gates Roll explained how everything they see and don't see works together to strengthen the ecosystem. From dolphins to fish to birds to oyster shells, everything does its part. Obviously, the major theme on this trip is biodiversity, but there's a bigger lesson that the students are learning when it comes to true diversity. You see, different kinds of animals make an ecosystem stronger, while different people working together can make a community stronger.
We're all still kids, we're all grown up in the same area, and we all have our own troubles and our own situations, but we all have the same end goal, and we're all in this together.
what he was saying kind of triggered my head too. I think diversity is very important because just like he said, how the animals come together, people can come together as well.
Throughout the experience, you could see students internalize this message. They became more intentional with each other.
I think it's extremely important. I know that we're in almost like a bubble for the last 8 years of our life. We go through middle school, we go through high school, but then we're going to be out on our own with a group of people that we will not know. So exercises and trips like these help us just to become accustomed to that.
The way that we interacted, it was like we knew each other already. So I think I think everyone should be able to get to experience this because it's a bonding moment, and brought us pretty close.
The setting and lessons helped. They learned about the island's history and who lived and worked here hundreds of years ago. And the highlight of the day, a walk on Boneyard Beach, a chance to look for shells among dead trees rising out of the sand.
It didn't look like it had been raided by tourists, like a lot of our beaches are, and there weren't, shops everywhere. It was just a true, nature. This is what the beach is supposed to be.
The story of the human history, natural history here, has to be told both in mind. They come hand in hand. Part of this trip is celebrating diversity and celebrating our human diversity and the natural diversity here.
To close out the day on Bulls Island, local artisan Vera Manigo shared the local history of sweetgrass baskets and how they were used in the past. Her passion was unmistakable, and the rich traditions of the Gullah and Geechee cultures were described in a dialect some students heard for the first time.
So I stop on the side of the road, take a picture, and I got a picture of cotton and sweetgrass growing together.
Then it was time to get back to reality and return to the mainland. But the experience didn't end with the ferry ride back to Garris Landing. The students built relationships, gained knowledge about an amazing ecosystem in their own backyard, and learned life lessons about the potential they have to make our community stronger.
I think it's very important because, you know, further out in the world, you never know what you'll run into. So if the more things you get to discover at an early age, you know, the better off it will be.
For the stories of CCSD in Allendale, I'm Andy Pruitt.